I always knew that I wanted to move to New York. It's like the arts mecca of the United States, and I always knew I wanted to be part of it. When people see you walk down the street or on the subway or in an airport with a bass, everyone thinks that they're the only person in the world that's ever made a comment about how big it is and how small I am. And it's true, it's big, I'm not, but musically speaking, it's my favorite role to play. It's really fun to be the rock, the support system for a small ensemble. Very, very happy that I ended up here and that I had such an amazing reason to come here. Ensemble Connect is a 2-year fellowship that is an amazing opportunity for young musicians trying to figure out what it means to be a professional musician in the 21st century and how we can be relevant to not just the regular classical music audience whom we know and love, but also the greater community.
This was a big initiative on the part of Carnegie and Weil and Juilliard to figure out how can we create really great musical citizens. People who aren't just great players, but who will actually change the world, who can have a really strong voice in the future of music education in the US.
I'd love to say this too, always. When you have a rhythmic figure, the more black there is and the more ink there is on the page, the more confusing it is.
I don't think there's anything that can match being a part of an ensemble that calls Carnegie Hall one of its homes. To be able to play in an environment where there is so much rich history, there's been so many great performers who have performed on that same stage that we are so fortunate to play on.
The building itself definitely has a mystique around it. I mean, it's Carnegie Hall. It's the most well-known performance space in the country, one of the most well-known in the world.
I think every kid has these youth orchestra moments, or they see an amazing orchestra and some epic piece really blows their mind. And for me, I came to Carnegie Hall and I saw the Berlin Phil play Brahms 2, and my mind was blown.
We get to perform concerts all over New York City and even abroad. And on top of the performing aspect, we also have the education aspect.
We go into schools and we go into community venues and we play for people that didn't even know that they wanted music, but there's something being brought to them and they want to see it and they're interested. So it's up to us to share with them why we think the music we love so much is so beautiful and why it's so important and how it can change the way you look at different things.
The one that stuck out with me the most was the one we did at Queensboro Correctional Facility. And so that was just so exciting because it was so clear that it meant a lot to them.
I really appreciate them for taking their time out to enlighten me on, music appreciation. And I really enjoyed it. And I appreciate music much more for it.
Each of the fellows are partnered with New York City Department of Education Public School.
I was fortunate enough to be assigned to the Celia Cruz Bronx High School for Music. At first it was a little bit of a shock trying to figure out how to get from the Bronx to Brooklyn to Queens and then back to Carnegie.
My voyage wasn't quite as dramatic as some other people's. I was assigned to a school in Queens, PS 63, Old South.
I was assigned to the Port Richmond High School in Staten Island. I live in the Upper West Side, so it's a little bit of a commute to get to Staten Island. So whenever I would go to Port Richmond and teach, I really made it a point to make the lesson plan that I was doing that day fun. From Ensemble Connect, and I've brought some friends along today to play some music for you and talk to you about some different musical topics today.
In your bands, the students you have none, but I came and taught you about it. Wasn't that fun?
I understand that a lot of people that I was teaching, a lot of the students, really never had a relationship with classical music. I think that music should be really encompassing, and I think as a teacher, I think it's your responsibility to meet the students where they're at.
So far I've seen 1st through 5th graders, and they've all come so interested and engaged and are always asking questions, and it's been really exciting.
This is Mr. Tagavi. Can you say good morning, Mr. Tagavi?
Good morning, Mr. Tagavi.
Good morning, guys. So Steven is going to be my personal conductor. So that's what we're going to do when you want me to play slow. And when you want it fast? Yeah. Okay, so are you ready to conduct me? How about another volunteer? Who would like to be a conductor? Yeah, come on up. Great. Very good.
I was so nervous for my first school visit. I had never taught before. I wasn't surprised, but I was definitely exhilarated by the response I was getting from the students sometimes. They're clearly in conflict with each other, but I started thinking about it as just being 2 different reactions to the same thing. It's not a happy piece. It's not Mozart, right? It's not that. It's incredibly validating to know what you're doing is actually working and making a difference.
She's very cool. She's very nice and very laid back, but she's also very hardworking and persistent, and she makes me want to be persistent.
Naturally, I had a good relationship with all of the bass players, especially Chad and Diamond, who were in the chamber orchestra. They were seniors and they're good buddies. They had been playing bass together in orchestra and since they were freshmen.
I was very intimidated meeting Lizzie for the first time, actually, because I could sense that she was really, really good. I have that respect. So it's not as a fear of intimidation, but it's more I have you to that standard, I looked up to you as a person, as an instrumentalist, as a bassist.
New York City public schools don't always get these kind of opportunities to have musicians come in and give concerts, and I think what's especially great is that it's being performed by people they know, us who've been their partner teachers, who come to their school, 25 times a year. Da, da, dee, da. And the next time is this side of the room. Da, da, dee, da.
I like to think that I have a long-term and a short-term impact as well. To watch them grow as musicians in their own right, the students are left with a very tangible, very direct difference at the end of the day. The best way to know that you know something is to try and teach it to someone.
I think the first year was a good start. I think I learned a lot about what works and what doesn't, how to structure things, and what's important. So this would be the 3rd one. Another way of thinking about it is B.
As a teacher, she's a very good person because we actually understand when she helps us. She taught me a lot in the short time that she was here, so she has really pushed me to become better.
They probably had a bigger impact on me than I had on them, to be very honest. You're gonna come and visit me next year? Yeah. All right, good. I want them all to have a phenomenal relationship with music. I want it to always be meaningful to them. Anything I can do to help them feel like they have a voice that's worth sharing and worth being heard through the idiom of music, to me that would be success. Triumphant! Yeah, awesome.